Justin Hodges commits to the Ole Miss Rebels. We'll tell you who he reminds me of and potential outlook for the 2023 season right after this.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are, in fact, free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. Give us a subscribe there. We would appreciate it. Hi, I'm Stephen Willis. This is an extra edition of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. We're reacting to the commitment of Justin Hodges from UCF. I'm pretty fired up about that. So, Justin Hodges, you look at his highlights, and I will link them up in the card or whatever on this video, at some point in this video. You need to check it out. Really, really good players. He's 6'2", 180-pound cornerback, something like that. Somebody you would not think would be a physical player, but he is. You watch his highlights and you notice that the kid likes to hit. He likes to put his shoulder in there. He likes to play football, which I'm appreciative of. I'm always in favor of players that enjoy playing football. And you see his ball skills isn't quite what you would think they would be at cornerback, but his work near the line of scrimmage, his work being a physical player with receivers coming over the middle, it definitely does not go without saying how he can help this team. The question is how. We talked about in the last reaction video with Jaden Kennedy about how Pete Golding seems to be recruiting cornerbacks and he's just going to figure it out. That's what it looks like. We're not recruiting corners. Like Dejon Anthony, he's another corner too, but they're talking about him playing safety. And you got Deshaun Gaddis, and you got these many different people that could be nickel corners. And we talked about Jaden Kennedy. This is another person that would be a good fit at nickel corner. Now, realize all of them cannot play there. But at 6'2", a physical type player, good near the line of scrimmage, he definitely profiles like a nickel corner. It's not outside the realm of possibility that he is going to end up there. But before we continue, I do want to let you know that today's show is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Many people know my story and why I am the way I am, honestly. But I have to walk morning, noon, and night. If I don't, I get wobbly. I've had half my balance cut out, and I need to retrain the other side of the brain to do it. Okay? And if you ever walk for long distances of time or look at going to a theme park all day or playing golf or even hanging out in the Grove, you know that wearing the wrong shorts can be a self-teaching tool. It's real similar to a shotgun, honestly. So, if you wear these are simply the most comfortable shorts you will ever put on. The most comfortable shorts you will ever put on, and you will thank me for them in the comment section if you look them up and get yourself a pair. Now, I do want to let you know, you can go to burgerdogs.com/LockedOnCollege. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnCollege. And when you enter promo code LockedOnCollege, all one word, LockedOnCollege, they'll throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. What gets better than that? A free Yeti-style tumbler with every order when you put in promo code LockedOnCollege, all one word. That's pretty great. All right, thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. Every day is tomorrow on the show. Karen McCutcheon, Derek Vandegrift, check them out. They're going to talk about baseball. They're going to talk about social. I know we're probably going to talk about Lane Kiffin playing guitar on stage to Poison songs. That stuff will happen in Sunday's shows, so tune in for that. So now we get to the who does he remind me of section of this video. And it's difficult because he's a tall cornerback. So the obvious thing would be like Miles Battle or Zachary Walton, or, that's what he would remind me of. But when I watched his highlights, and you guys can watch his highlights as well and come to your own conclusion, I see a little bit of AJ Finley in his game. which makes me wonder their plan for him at Ole Miss. Is he going to be the guy in the middle of the field? Is he going to be the free safety, him and John Saunders out patrolling? Maybe with a little nickel corner put in. Because remember, when Chris Partridge was the defensive coordinator, and I realize that his name right now, when discussing defense like this, is a dirty word, but he demanded versatility from all of his safeties. All of his box safeties had to learn back. All of his deep safeties needed to learn box so they could line up different ways and put different people near the line of scrimmage, and the quarterback would not have a clue off of personnel and positioning exactly what the defense was. Looks like Pete Golding's a little bit of the same way when it comes to that. He wants his safeties and corners and all that to be cross-trained to where you can disguise where they line up. That's what it looks like to me from 30,000 foot whenever you look down at these commits and who are coming in. You're going to have a lot of players that are similar type players playing different positions, whether it's free safety, nickel corner, or just straight cornerback. And you're going to have those guys have to be good against the run. So there's a physicalness attached to everything that you need to do. And Justin Hodges fits this bill absolutely. I'm pretty fired up about this signing. Now, let's get to the elephant in the room real quick before we get out of here. I think he was removed from the UCF team for an arrest sometime back, okay? And the charges have since been dropped, okay? So we don't have to worry about that. And I'm not necessarily worried about this situation, okay? This team has a culture that is built. There's players like Jared Ivey, unbelievably solid citizens. He's coming into a team with Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste, who was his teammate at UCF, who was the captain of that defense. He knows him quite well. He's coming here. There's a comfort factor that's going to happen. Oxford is a small town. It's isolated. So you can see exactly how this could be the perfect situation for Justin Hodges moving forward. Plus, with him and Jaden Kennedy, you get multiple years of eligibility. So these transfers are honestly like JUCO transfers. How we used to think in 1997 when, everybody was recruiting JUCO players. You get them for 2 years. Both Kennedy and Hodges, forgot his name for a second, have multiple years of eligibility. And that is important for the Ole Miss defense. Because if you look at Zamari Walton, he's gone. John Saunders is gone. DeAndre Prince is gone. Somebody has to be there to take over next year. So you need it to find players with multiple years of eligibility that in the future can do the things you need to do. Now, this isn't discounting players in the secondary like Taylor Groves or Gerald Stinson. They can be fine. They can make their jump. They can get onto the field. But this gives you that insurance policy that you're in good shape looking at a build that is inevitably coming. I know I say it all the time, but it kind of is what it is. I really like what Ole Miss is doing on defensive line. I really like what they're doing in the defensive backfield. It just kind of is what it is, honestly. I'm intrigued about the fact that they're kind of leaving linebackers alone at the moment. We'll see how that works out as well. Anyway, thanks everyone for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first and listen every day. Every dayers tomorrow on the show, Kara McCutcheon returns and Derek Vandegrift doing a little post-mortem on this baseball season and talking about Rebels and the Miners. So tune in for that. Anyway, I will see you then. Until then, I'm Stephen Willis. Hotty toddy.